On today's unboxing video, I've already opened up the box, so I hope that doesn't spoil the magic or ambiance of this video. But my customer Greg sent me 10 issues, and some of them are really interesting, and I really wanted to feature them and talk about them. So I've already opened the box. Not going to go through that song and dance. Let's get to today's tip and trick. It's more of a word of caution. So for modern magazines, a lot of times you can buy current issues from the publisher's website. Like, for example, Time Magazine, Sports Illustrated, you can buy them directly from the publisher's website. But here is a word of caution. Frequently, what you get when you buy directly from the publisher's website is a white box issue. I've talked about that in my videos many times. Magazine publishers no longer have a label, mailing label stuck to the cover. They just put a white box that is on the cover, and then they print the person's address in there. Sometimes you'll see a white box with no address. Regardless, if there is a white box, that is classified by CGC as a subscription issue. So that's number one. Number two, those publishers do not care about protecting it and shipping. They are just placed in a manila envelope, no bag and board, no protection, no padding whatsoever, and thrown to the wolves of the U.S. Postal Service. So every time I've ordered something directly from the manufacturer, frequently it's white box, and it always comes just beat to hell. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Doesn't mean that you might end up getting a newsstand issue that comes in great shape. It might happen. But what I can tell you is the vast majority of time, it doesn't happen. So that's today's tip and trick. All right, let's look at some issues. And let's start with this one, which I love because this is fun. And I've been talking about this. I talked a little bit about this in the recent Collectors Roundtable, which you can go back and watch on demand on my YouTube channel. This is the classic Dwight Clark, the catch in the NFC Championship game. Came out on January 18th, 1982. And this is where something like magazines and especially game-worn memorabilia just really are so much better than sports cards, is we can capture moments. You know, if I have Victor Wembanyama's rookie card, okay, that's cool, but that doesn't really tell me anything or capture any specific moment about Victor Wembanyama. Here I have Dwight Clark's not collectible, but man, everybody remembers that throw from Montana to Clark, comeback win, NFC Championship game, and this photo captures that. You know, I've said this before, there's no sports card that captures the moment of the 1980 USA Hockey Miracle on Ice. So moments are so interesting and so collectible. Game Worn does that, magazines do that, and so that's why I love this cover. Dwight Clark's not collectible. The catch issue, definitely collectible, and I love it. This one's great. This is Mariano Rivera. This is not his first cover by a long shot. This is one of his last covers, or maybe even his last cover, period. Exit Sandman, he was retiring. I love this issue. Again, I get a feel for what Mariano Rivera was like in those moments. It's the ninth inning. They change the pitcher. Mariano Rivera gets called in from the bullpen. They're at Yankee Stadium, and on comes Enter Sandman from Metallica, and he does that slow walk out to the mound from the bullpen, and man, it was lights out. How intimidating would that be for a batter? You're facing one of the best relievers and closing guys in Major League Baseball history, and Enter Sandman is playing, and you know you're just cooked. I love this issue so much. You know I love a good Jordan. I'm back. This is his only cover wearing... That was kind of fun. A little behind the scenes there. I'm pressing some magazines, and my alarm went off on my heat press. Only cover with him in 45. This is also the only Sports Illustrated cover appearance for Hall of Famer Reggie Miller. Reggie kind of got screwed, and I've tried to make the label request about this being Reggie Miller's first cover appearance, and never gotten it from CGC. I'll do this when I submit Greg's, and hopefully we can get that label request. This is an interesting one. LeBron James. This is a special Beckett Card Plus Presents tribute to LeBron James. I've seen this before. I'm looking for a date on it, and I don't see it. Obviously... No, not there either. Obviously, that's LeBron in his high school uniform. Real shiny cover there. Square spine. That one will be fun to work on. Okay. I love this cover, and you know my rule. We're not going to talk politics, but we are going to talk about the collectability of politicians. And, whew, this is a big dog right here. So recently, a copy of this, graded at 9.8, sold on eBay for just over $1,100. This is an iconic historical image and very collectible. If you hate Donald Trump, good for you. If you love Donald Trump, good for you. But man, I love this cover because it captures moments. All these magazines are about moments. It captures that moment, which was just incredible. Whether you love Donald Trump, hate Donald Trump, or indifferent to Donald Trump, it's an incredible moment captured on the cover of Time magazine, and I'm a big fan of the collectability of this piece right there. Not bad. Larry Bird, first Sports Illustrated cover. Now I can tell by looking at this is label removed. No problem. Hey, I don't judge. If you want to collect subscription issues with labels removed, knock yourself out. I am not a gatekeeper. I am not a snob when it comes to that. The only thing I'm a snob about is my own grades. I am a grade snob with my own issues. If you follow me on social media, I posted something pretty cool with this issue recently. There is a bar, two-story bar, in downtown Terre Haute, Indiana, which is where Indiana State is, which is where Larry Bird went to college, that has painted a mural of this Sports Illustrated cover going 2 stories up on their bar. I was there, I don't know, a while ago, and I brought my newsstand, Larry Bird first cover at 8.0, had it graded, and did a pretty cool little video showing the slab and then the big 2-story mural in the background. So if you go to my social media, it was on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, and I also put it in the Facebook groups just because I thought it was such a cool shot. Larry Bird first cover, love that. 2 Larry Bird first covers, both label removed. Nice, this is interesting. I'm not a Sports Illustrated for kid guys. Great if you are. But what's interesting about this is Shohei Ohtani. It's his first Sports Illustrated for kids cover. It also predates his first Sports Illustrated. No, it doesn't. I apologize. It does not predate his first Sports Illustrated cover. This came out in 2020. And his first Sports Illustrated cover came out in 2018. Still a very cool piece. And man, is there anything hotter in baseball right now than Shohei? The answer is no. Another time, Donald Trump. What's the headline? Attack on Trump. Former president survives shooting with nation on edge. I still just can't, I still can't believe that this happened and that this photograph was taken at that exact moment. You can see the blood on his face. Amazing. I am not a Beckett collector. Again, not gatekeeping. Great if you are. Knock yourself out. They just don't do much for me. But I do own a slabbed copy of this one because it's the only slabbed Beckett I own because I absolutely love this iconic image of Bo Jackson, in his, shoulder pads, part of his football gear with the baseball bat, black and white. It's beautiful. It's the same photo that was used in the famous, I think it was Score sports card back in the day. Love, love, love this Beckett cover. It's my absolute favorite Beckett cover. And as a Jordan guy, Jordan was on a ton of Beckett covers. I still love this one above and beyond all of them. Bo Jackson is famous for not signing this cover. There's some sort of copyright dispute with the photographer and who owns the copyright. It's way too boring to go into, but just be aware if you're ever going to a Bo Jackson signing, he will not sign anything with this image. That includes the Score sports card, and it includes this Beckett cover. Okay, I'm going to grab one of these that I find interesting and talk about it, press it, clean it, show you the before and after results. I wanted to do this Donald Trump cover because I wanted to talk about how difficult and how fragile it is to press ultra-modern copies of Time magazine. These are the most fragile publications I've seen, and if you're not an expert at pressing, you can easily screw these up. Let's start by looking for some flaws, and then I'll talk about the fragileness of these. Got a little bit of a spine line there. Corner crunch right there. Let's get my light on it so you can see it better. Nasty corner crunch there. Got a little bit of color loss. Some of that's going to be permanent, but I'll be able to fix some of it. Got some waviness along the bottom. This part looks pretty clean there. Top right corner's pretty good. And I don't see any finger bends, just some general waviness, which should come out. Let's take a look at the back. A little bit more. That's a very light crease. That should come out. Light bend, little finger bend there. But what you'll see here, try and get you to see it, there is a very light bend that runs, there you can see it right there, that runs the whole length of the magazine from top to bottom. That's what's called a roller mark. So there are rollers in the printing press, and every now and then they just kind of pinch the paper weird and put a little dent in it. They can be very difficult, if not impossible, to get out. The good news is CGC knows this and treats it as a production flaw, and so they go a lot easier on grading when it comes to production flaws versus user flaws. So I've seen issues with deeper roller marks than that that still get a 9.8, but we'll try and get that out. Got some spine curl happening there, and a little bit more spine curl right there. Close look at these corners. Get some light on that one. A little bit of a corner crunch there with some color loss. But other than that, pretty nice condition. So not only are these extraordinarily fragile from just kind of the paper is very flimsy, the ink comes off very easily, they are also an ultra high gloss. I've compared this similar to like a clear coat on your car. You've got your paint and then you've got your clear coat on top of it. You have to be really careful. I press these at a very low temperature because I have seen these Time magazines blister and be ruined at temperatures as low as 140 or 145 degrees. So you've got to go to a very, very low temperature when you're pressing these, or else this ultra high gloss can easily get damaged, and what you start seeing is bubbling. Similar to what you'd see on a clear coat that goes bad on a car. You see some bubbling. Okay, those are the flaws. Time to press it, and then I'll come back and show you the before and after results. Okay, I was, like I said, really careful with these modern Time magazines because they are delicate and fragile. Let's see the end result. Looking great. That spine line there looks better. It's not perfect. This corner crunch, dramatically better. Got just the tiniest amount of color loss there. But man, that looks a heck of a lot better than it did. Not a whole lot of problems on this cover. We had a little bit of a ding on that corner. That looks better. The big issue on the cover, beyond what we've looked at, was the waviness. All of that has been cleaned up. Take a look at the back now. The light bend there in the corner is better. Bend there. Finger bend gone completely. Can't really see it very well. A little bit right there. That roller mark is still there, but I don't think that's going to be a problem as far as grading goes. That corner looks great. This corner, we had a little bit of an issue. How'd that come out? Wow, that came out great. That came out really, really nice. This one is probably, I think it's close to a 9.8, but I think that this is ultimately going to be a 9.6. Still a spectacular grade and still an amazing piece of history. And I love this cover. The main thing I want you to take away from this video is how delicate and fragile these modern issues of Time magazine are. And there are techniques that are used in the pressing process that work great on, Sports Illustrateds from the 90s and 2000s and all sorts of other publications. Those techniques, many of them, are too aggressive for Time magazine, and you can actually damage your copy of Time magazine if you use a lot of those techniques. So they're some of the most frustrating pieces that I work on because you've just got to be so delicate and so careful and just treat the whole issue with kid gloves. And then at the end of the day, some of those flaws don't come out, or some of them are permanent. So if you're doing this yourself, you got to be really careful. Practice on a bunch of garbage issues before you dig into some valuable issues, or send them to a professional. And if you're interested in my professional comic and magazine cleaning and pressing service, drop a comment. Find me on social media: Twitter, Facebook, eBay, Instagram, TikTok, every social media platform. Same username as here on YouTube, CGC Sports Illustrated. Please keep giving me feedback on these videos. What do you like about them? What do you don't? What do you want to see more of? If I'm not doing something, you're like, hey, I wish you could show this. Your feedback's real important, and I've already incorporated a lot of feedback that I've gotten from you into these videos. So please keep doing it. Please keep watching, because I appreciate it. So thank you.